Well, hello, and welcome back. I'm AJ O'Neill. This is Beyond Code Live, and I'm a little too close today. Let's back out there just a touch, just a little bit. Oh, and let's not have the YouTube re-echoing back into the stream there. Okay, so we're back onto the payments project. So let me see what we can do here. Oh, I don't even have the PayPal bit opened up yet. Sorry about that. That's okay. But here's the I do. It's just back here. That's what we were looking at, the developer documentation for PayPal. So I got the subscription stuff working out. We're going to do a little bit of review on that because I got to get back to where I was at and kind of, figure that out. And then we're going to, let's see. I got to handle payments apart from subscriptions, and I got a little bit more work to do, maybe with tying the customer together. I did get an email back from PayPal support on Twitter saying, yes, emails are verified before a user can send or receive money, either one. But they did not follow up with any link to documentation stating that. So I think I can take that. I'm gonna find that tweet and I'm gonna put a comment in the code saying such. And then for today's who to follow, because I'm doing this who to follow thing now, the person that I'm going to pick is Corey Brown. So he is at unique name. That's what we're going to do here. Twitter at unique name. He just does a lot of interesting stuff that I think is great. So give me 2 seconds here. First of all, if you want to join in on the Discord, I don't know what we're going to do with the Discord, but we now have a Beyond Code Live Discord that I've been sharing. So there's the link to that. And then I'm going to copy this. This is Corey Brown. He does 365jsthings.tech. I've seen him post articles on that from Twitter, and it's good stuff. He's got good ideas. So I recommend Corey Brown following him. So now that we've got the who to follow out of the way, and we've got the Discord thing out of the way, hopefully we don't add too many more things to the beginning. We've got the whatchamajig out of the way. Now it's time to thank our sponsor, but not really a sponsor, Mountain Dew. And, of course, say it with me, open focus. All right. I should make that my Twitter tagline, but I can't because I've got too many taglines already and I can't get rid of any and I can't fit any new ones in. My most recent one is Dangerous Wrong Thinker. And I think that Dangerous Wrong Thinker is a better Twitter bio tag than Let's Open Focus. Anyway, let me get back to where the heck I was because I don't even know or remember quite. But I was looking. Let's see, what were we doing? Let me go to app.js because I think it here. Yes. Okay. So we got the webhooks for PayPal checkout, and subscription is it's activating the subscription. So when we get the user to click the button is when we create the subscription, and then when we get the webhook is when we activate it. But we're also going to have to update the routing in here so that we can activate it in another way as well. So I'm trying to think I think the first thing I want to do is focus on payment sale completed. I don't know if I actually did that. I already put that table in there. Did I already do this? Let me go look here. So part of the description might be wrong because they said we're going to add the payments table. Did I already add the payments table? I did already add the payments table. See, I told you my memory is not very good. So we've got the payments table and we've got the subscriptions table. And so my thought is that if we look at this, \D is for describe all of the tables in the current database, FYI. So if we take a look at this, select star from payments, nothing. We got nothing in there. So this hasn't been tested yet or something else has happened. Let's see. From subscriptions, we got nothing. Okay, so I guess I haven't tested this yet. Or it didn't work, one of the two. I think I probably tested it and then made the database, did a migration down and a migration up. Hey, what's up, Will? I see that you're using your true name today. Must be a good day. Well, and in regards to the what's up, well, I mean, you're here, I'm here. I just described what I'm going to do. So that's what's up. What's up with you? Um, all right. So this is the dev environment. Somebody showed me a little trick to do with one of these CSS manager plugin mabobs, where for your dev domains, you just have it insert some text. Basically, have it nest the body one level deeper, and then have it all in red or orange or whatever. And this is the test domain, which actually would be quite useful. I think I might consider. Well, I'm already considering it. Anyway, so here we are, and I want to go to settings, and I want to say let's check out with PayPal. Oh no. Huh. Unexpected server error indeed. I was not expecting that. Let's go check it out. All right. Not found. Get plan. Okay, I guess I must have not rerun the seed here. So I'll have to rerun the seed. And I should have a better way of handling that type of error that's more descriptive, but whatever. We're going to go with this. Alrighty, cool. So here's my fake account. And let's make sure that we're watching what's happening here. So billing subscription created, that was ignored. That not found error was from the previous bit. Catalog product created, ignored. Okay. And agree and subscribe. So what I should be able to do is you're going to see here in the URL, PayPal checkout return. That's a little bit odd. Query parameters were removed. Query parameters might have been removed by my route handling, which is not updated to handle PayPal checkout. But that might be why we don't see the query parameters here, because there should be some query parameters there. And then we should see in about a minute. It takes some amount of time, but we see the subscription plan was created. Well, the subscription was created, the product was created, the plan was created. So there we go. Now we just saw, what was this? Payment sale complete. Okay, so payment goes through first in this case. And then I think we're going to see billing subscription activated, something like that show up here in a second. What I'm going to do to make my life easier, hey, thanks for joining in. Feel free to tell me who you are. I'm AJ. I'd love to know who you are, where you're from, what brings you to the channel this day, this fine, wonderful day. And then I'm going to open up some logs over here on the other screen. I think maybe I'll just move this one over and then open up a new whatchamajig terminal window, because I want to be able to see the logs in full over here. And I'm going to do command minus a few times. Oh, is my keycaster not running? Keycaster. Let's get keycaster running. I might have rebooted the computer or something, because I want you to see what I'm doing. Huh, that's weird. Is it not showing? Hold up just one second. Do I have it paused? Maybe I have it paused. Toggle capturing. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to see if I can figure out which one of these things it is. It's one of these things up here. If you can guess which one it is, I'll give you my appreciation. Oh, you can't see the things up here either because they're just out of view of the camera. So one of these things up here, no, that's not it. I think that's Adobe Cloud. I keep on trying to delete that thing. I'm not using it. I haven't been using it for about a year. Okay, that's Plex. That's the utility. That's Better Snap Tool. Ah, there we are. Okay, stop casting, start casting. I'm going to do quick keycaster, and we're going to do a restart of keycaster. Keycaster. Oh, and somebody had asked me, Kai had asked me which one I ended up going with. I wanted to go with Keystroke Pro, which is $15 in the App Store, but I'm on Catalina, so I went with Keycaster instead because that's the one that works on Catalina. But the Keystroke Pro looks a little better. I have no idea. Something happened. It's not showing. It's not showing my keystrokes anymore, but whatever. So sorry, you don't get to see keystrokes right now. Okay, let me bring this back over. Oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure I figured out what my is from. I think it's a terrible modification from Zelda of entering a room. I think that's what it's from. I think it's from the SNES version. I think when you open a locked door, I think it makes a da-la-la-la-la chime. And I think I've been doing the little so long that it kind of lost the progression. Okay. So good news, bad news. So let me see if I can bring this over here for your viewing pleasure. So we're getting an error. Payments set email equal blank where subscription FK equal blank. And email is null. Invalid syntax for UUID. So it seems that something is being double stringified here. Hold on, I missed these. So that's okay. We can figure that one out. That's a little hard to read, though. But I think something's just being double stringified or not destringified or something. So we'll take a look at that. And where does this come from? Is it nice enough to give me a good error message? Because it would be nice if it could tell me where. Let's see. So here's the thing I don't like about this, and I should do something to fix it. And I could do something to fix it, is that the error loses the information of where it really came from, because essentially this object, it happens on a stream read event. And so it loses where it came from before that, which is a pity. But that's okay. We're going to go back into beta. And we are going to go into the Bliss API where we've got this PayPal stuff going on. And then I'm going to go look in. I bet this is in, did I call it lib payments? Lib something or other? Lib purchase. I called it lib purchase. I don't know if I want to keep it named lib purchase. This looks to be the one right here. So UUID, select UUID from subscriptions. That doesn't make sense. Await. Oh. Hold on. Something's wrong here. So this is missing its where. So let me try to figure that out. All right, we're trying to activate the subscription. This just seems wrong. Select UUID from subscriptions. And this is missing its where clause. So I did something horribly wrong here. And I think this is supposed to be where external ID. And then what is the update here? Update is activate. I'll have to go check on that because that doesn't quite look right. But this is just dumb. Whoops. That's just dumb because I'm just entirely missing the where clause. Who knows how I did that? And then this is going to be, of course, this is going to be a row. And so I'd need to let UUID equal row.uuid. That should be correct. So if we go do this again, I think that would be correct now. But, you know, I think you should have to pass in something on purpose. I think you should always have to specify a where and do .where false if you didn't want the where. Something, because how often do you not want a where? You know, it's almost always an oversight. Okay. And this is update email, update link to user. Now this is where we get in a little bit of trouble because we have different ways of referencing the user based on how they're connected in the system. Oh, and this, yeah, that looks, okay, that makes sense. And, okay. Really, we should only get the most recent one here as well, which I don't know quite how we do that because we don't actually want to update all of these. That's why I did the email equals null, but it's possible for something else to have been started. And for the email to be, it's possible to start one event, then start another event, then complete the second event, and then complete the first event. In which case, you know, it's possible the person could change their primary email and then change it back between those two events. Not likely, but it's possible. So it'd be nice if we could say just the most recent one. Well, no, because the event is defined by the subscription FK. So no, we're safe there. We are safe there. Okay. And that's why I'm saying check date of subscription there. All right. And if we can't update email or user, then we bail. If we don't have any extra user info, we're done. Okay. So this looks a lot better, I think now, maybe. I do want to go check on where I'm calling activate. I'm pretty sure I'm calling it here. Activate. All right, only in one place. And what activate can be is only going to be user FK and email. Now, I'm gonna go to my Twitter real quick and see if I can find that reply from PayPal. I don't think that this is good documentation. It's not good, reliable documentation to say, oh yeah, PayPal dev on Twitter said that this is true. You know, like I want to see it in official documentation. But one of the problems I have with these Twitter support accounts is that you typically get funneled into, oh, hey, DM us. And then you DM them. And then that's where it ends. So let me see if I can get back to, I'm looking through PayPal. Oh, I had a lot of activity recently on my Twitter feed because of some database discussion. And so the message that I was having with PayPal seems to have gotten buried, but it shouldn't be back too far. I guess it is a little bit. Oh, I see a PayPal logo. All right, here we go. Bless me. I'm going to bring this over so that you can see it as well. Okay, cool. Oh, so they did send me something back. I just didn't see it. Great. All right, awesome. So they Okay, so it's not mentioned in the developer documentation, but it is legit. So are we guaranteed? That's the only way I can remember how to spell guaranteed is guaranteed. Are we guaranteed that the user email is verified by PayPal? Yes, we are. And it's just, I would like that to be explicit in the developer documentation. Let's see. Search autocomplete. No, I don't care about that. Can we get rid of these query things? I want this to be easier to read. It'd be nice if they do what Stack Overflow does, where it's article 750 and then /title, and you could just get rid of the title and then have the shorter URL. But anyway, so that's good to know. So what we can do here then is we can consider this email address. So to do lookup or create user. The problem with this is that a person could have a different primary email address on PayPal than they have on their account. And so I'm not sure. I know that looking up the user, that's great, because it's not that they're going to accidentally have an unassociated account between PayPal and this. But what could happen is, so for me, for the business account, for example, I have PayPal at mybusiness.com. And that's what I use as my primary PayPal address. But it's not actually an email that I log into. I don't actually log in to PayPal at mybusiness.com. Anyway, that's a good to do to put there. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I do want to get through this whole process and have it not blow up. That's numero uno for me right now. So I'm going back. Sorry, I did that really quickly. I'm going back into the purchase file and just making sure I don't have anything else that's missing a where clause. Seriously, that's the kind of thing a linter needs to be able to inspect and look at. And then I wonder, Postgres limit update. I wonder if there's a way to do this other than using the where. Let's see. Huh, interesting. I'll give that an upvote. That makes sense. It seems inefficient, but it makes sense. So if you want to limit it, just do an in from a select where you limit. So I'm going to put that. I'm going to click on the share here. Sorry, I'm tempted by this notification. I want to see what was upvoted. Oh, that old thing. So I am going to go to where I had that to do in here. To do check date of subscription. To do limit updates. There. Well, I guess check date of subscription might still be to doable. I don't think that makes sense. I don't remember why I put that, so I'm going to get rid of it because it's not helpful to have it there. If it's important, it'll come up again. All right, I'm just making sure I'm checking over here, saying hello to everybody. Oh, yes, and indeed hello to everybody, because we've got a few people that have joined in. Welcome. My name's AJ. What's your name? Where are you from? What brings you here today? feel free to ask me if you got any off-topic questions. Right now, I'm just working on a personal project, educating myself, I guess, kind of, sort of. Well, it is something that I'm going to be using in other projects, and probably something that I will be charging for it at some point. But anyway, my time is my own today, so I'm happy to go on little tangents. If you got just whatever question you've got. Okay. So now let's do this again. And by do this again, I mean, let's go through this payment process again. And hopefully this time, all the webhooks and everything will work out just swimmingly. And I will, before we go through the process again, let me get this out of the way. We don't need this anymore. Exit. Okay, that's gone. And what I'm going to do here is we're going to watch Bliss API is what I called it. Yeah. We're not going to do it that way. I'm just going to bring over this one again. And it's going to be small, and that's going to be okay. So we'll just bring this over right here. And I apologize. You're not going to be able to read it this small, are you? Can you read that still? You could probably read it a little bit. We'll see. Okay. So we're just going to have this running for the logs. I'm going to clear it out, Command K to clear it out. And then we're going to go back. Was it this one? No, it's not that one. Let's get out of that one. We just want the dev one here. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to bring back the couple of things over here that we really need, which is we need our dev blog. We need our connects documentation, and we need our Stripe subscription documentation. The other stuff I'll sort through later because I think there was some stuff I still need in there. But okay, so from here we go to settings again. Well, first I'm going to have to get rid of this because I broke my router, my front end router. Okay, so we're going to click the button. It's going through the process. I'm going to log in with the test account they gave me. Notice it's sandbox.paypal.com. Okay, we're going to do our $10 charge, agree and subscribe. And then let's see, what did we get? We already got something. Oh, okay. So this was it looking up the plan in the database, which it shouldn't even have to do that. That is something that should just be in memory. Because, well, I guess I could update it, but I'm not realistically going to. Billing subscription created. So notice there's no user information in this part yet, and that actually makes sense. So here the process completed. What we don't see is some query params that it returned, but because the way my router is working, it deleted them, and then it died because it doesn't handle the PayPal checkout route yet. But in about 30 seconds to a minute, what we're going to see is probably the payment event will go through first, which is a little counterintuitive because they agree to the subscription and then the payment happens. But the way that the webhooks seem to be consistently firing is that billing subscription is activated, and let's see. Oh, payment did not come first this time. Billing subscription came through first this time. All right, undefined bindings detected when compiling update. Subscription FK. Query update, payment set, blah, 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 subscription FK. So it looks, okay, payment sale completed. This one went through no problem. But something was wrong with this one, which is payments. And did I misspell subscription? Subscription. Undefined columns, subscription. So I'm going to go check that real quick. Again, this could just be a matter of I need to rerun my migrations. Go take them down and bring them back up. But let's make sure payments. Do we have subscription FK is right there. Okay, let's go look at the database itself. I'm not going to do that in this window because this is too small. Can't see things. We're going to do that over here. PG. Oh, whoops. Let me get into fish here. There we go. PSQL D And then let's look at payments. And what do we see? Subscription FK. So what is it complaining about? Let's look at that error message a little closer. Undefined columns, subscription FK. All right, help me out here. Is there a typo? Hey, Ultra Half. I don't know what you said no to, but thank you for responding anyway. Query, update payments, set email equals blank where subscription. And email is null. Query compiler, PG2 SQL. Undefined columns. Payments set email. So let me just go back into the code under lib purchase is where I'm putting subscription and payments right now. And this was under activate. So that was the event that fired before the error. So we got billing subscription activated. So here I'm under activate. And we've got extra. Let me just make sure. Yeah, that looks right. And then down here, payments, subscription FK. I'm a little confused. Oh, you know what? I think it's telling me the opposite thing that I thought it was telling me. I was thinking it was telling me that the column is not defined. But what it's saying is that the value is undefined for that column. So it's not undefined columns, it's undefined values because I had this wrong. So if, and I need to do a check here. So if this would be rows. All right, so if not rows dot length, then what? Let's see. Is that possible? I don't think that's possible. Yeah. So unless somehow in between this line and this line, the database row can just disappear, that's not possible. So I'm just going to put here, we just checked that this row exists. I don't know that it's worth putting extra boilerplate in the code for, I mean, of course, all things can happen. It's totally possible that this could get deleted between the time that this runs here and this runs here. But it's one of those things that at this point, I'd rather wait for that to happen and then do the check than just have, I don't know, have an extra check that then throws, I'm talking about it too much. If I'm talking about it too much to try to explain my laziness, then my laziness isn't a good idea. Okay, I won't be lazy. Shouldn't be possible considering that we just checked this. But this is, if this were a file system, that's actually really important to do. There was a 0-day vulnerability in, I think it was a WordPress hosting service that a buddy of mine, it was a coworker at the time, he found. And it was essentially this. It was check a file right here, do some operation, and then write to the file right here. And in between the time that the file was checked and it was written, it was possible to change the file location. And he was able to create a practical hack that took over a user's account. And he submitted it and went through the proper process and everything. And then they told him this isn't real. You can't really do this. And so then he released it on GitHub, and then the next month, of course, all of the people that were running that version of WordPress and Apache suddenly, and it wasn't WordPress's fault. There was a fault. I think it was a fault in Apache. Anyway, big hosts got hacked, and it was kind of funny that because he told them he disclosed it responsibly, and then he released the proof of concept, and a bunch of people got hacked. So even these little stupid things where you think, I just checked this. In this case, I don't think there's any security issue here, but just in general. If anything asynchronous is happening, then it's possible that it's not there. Okay, now this should be good. And it shouldn't be possible for row to be more than one, because external ID can only be one thing. And if it is possible, that's the kind of error that would just, it would be a really weird, I don't think that's possible. Maybe if the webhook fired twice at the same time, I don't know. There's probably some weird case where something could accidentally be in there twice, but rows should be one, and I'm not gonna bother checking it because that's just, it's a bridge too far. Okay. So let's run this again. All right, we go back. Go to settings. And we check out with PayPal. Bum, bum, bum. So what we should see, there we go, created. So we created it, and now we're going to agree to it. And again, I'm going to wait that 30 seconds or so. That's strange, because I didn't even see it there at all. I didn't see it there for a second and then flash away. It seemed that it never appeared. I wonder about that. Anyway. I should probably have that in the redirects. And then have it redirect to... Yeah, handle the redirect on the server and then have it redirect back to this application. That's going to be a little odd, but that's probably the right way to go about it. Redirects to the API, redirects, yeah. Okay. So, oh good. Now we've got billing activated, no error this time that I can see. Looks as though everything went swimmingly, and then I imagine within the next 10 seconds we're going to see payment. So yeah, we don't have any guarantee on when these events fire other than that activated will fire after created. I think that is pretty much guaranteed. But as far as whether activated fires first or paid fires first, there we are. Payment sale completed. No guarantees on that. So now, here's another difficult question that we have to answer. A person's, let's say, privileges are dependent on what they have paid. If a subscription was activated successfully, we can assume that the payment's going to complete. But it's not until we see the payment that we know for sure that they paid. And they could pay, let's say, in different amounts. So the question is, how do we work backwards from all this payment stuff to figure out what service is active? I think what we need to do is maybe also have, let's see, what do we know? I think this payment should have some extra information associated with it, such as how long is it good for? This payment is good for 1 year. Because if we want to refund them, then we want to prorate refund them perhaps, and that could get really complex. I need to think about the smaller case. I'm thinking too broadly. I'm thinking too generically. I need to think about the small and simple case. So, first of all, maybe it needs to be a batch job, but we need to be able to look through payments that don't have a user associated with them. So let me go take a look at that real quick. Let's go into the database. And then let's say select star from payments, which I think we're going to have maybe 3 things in there. Yeah. We got 3 things in there. Oh, and by the way, I'm totally switching away from, man, I was getting rid of my Valley Girl like, and then I threw in my Valley Girl totally. I am convinced in switching away from UUIDs and using ULIDs instead, which there's this excellent article that I'm pretty bombastic in terms of I make claims based on my limited knowledge, and I make them in a very assertive way. But this has the positive benefit that when you make a bold claim and you're wrong, people like to tell you that you're wrong. And so this has the benefit of me becoming smarter on a regular basis, because people who know more than I do will point out that I am wrong. And then I learn, and then I'm more right. So it's not the approach for everyone, but it is an approach that works for me. Here we go. I'm gonna put this into the chat here. So UUID versus int versus ULID. ULID is better. So you can follow that tweet stream. There's a couple of articles that he references, and I think that it's important to read both of them. I think, was it this one? Oh, I can't even find it now. This is the problem with Twitter, is it's really hard to read the trees. Here we go. This is specifically about ULIDs. So, okay, so anyway, back over here, looking at the database, I want to select star from payments where, was it user FK is, let's say, is null. Right. Select, let's say select email amount paid. Well, that's bad. Is this possible? That shouldn't be possible. What? So this concerns me. I don't know how this is possible, but it would be very bad. Let's do subscription FK. Let's see what information we got about the subscription. See, it would be very bad if we have payments coming through and we don't know who paid them, like that. That's no bueno. And I am very surprised to see that empty row. I don't know how that would be possible for that to have happened. But let's do select star from subscriptions where UUID equals this thing. Oh, interesting. So we had the email there somehow? What? Let me go look at this again real quick. How is it possible? Subscription. Update. Okay, so let's say we're going to activate, and we're going to say activate. Where's activate called? I think there's only one place where activate is called. That's right here. And the only thing that could be there is email. And that's if there's a subscription.subscriber. Ugh, that's kind of messy. And we've got to duplicate information, and we don't know ahead of time. Let's see, are we logged in? No? Huh. Okay, and then payment. Email, subscription.email. Oh, okay. I think I see how this happens. So it depends on which one goes first, whether the subscription goes through first or the email goes through first. And when we had the issue where the subscription was going through after and it was throwing an error, then it never got to the point where it was updating the email on the payment. Okay, so it's fine to duplicate information here. We just need to make sure that we've got payments and subscriptions connected and emails connected. Okay, so that was an understandable bug in the code. All right. So this is good. So PayPal return. Let's see, did we do this part? I need to look at the log there. Do we have our PayPal return logged out? PayPal checkout. PayPal webhook event. I don't see PayPal return. Let me search. I may have just missed it. PayPal return. Okay, there it is. So let me put this in the same brackets that I'm putting the other things in. PayPal checkout return. That's probably decent enough. So I do want to get the details of this. Let's see, we're given subscription ID, BA token, and token. Now I think what I need to do in this case is I think I need to use the token to get the subscription details. So I want to use every method possible. I want to use webhooks. I want to use the redirects. I want to make sure the information about the user has every chance of getting into the database, even if something goes wrong. So I am doing the redirects right here as I suggested. I just forgot that I was already doing it. So this is going to give us subscription ID, token, and I think it's called BA token. BA underscore token. That makes more sense to have an underscore rather than a hyphen in there. Okay. And we do want to check if the user happens to be logged in. That makes sense. That can happen now. I'm going to leave that as a to-do for the moment. But let's do, let subscription is await details. And then we're going to do, let's do let subscription ID equals rec.query dot subscription ID. Well, I guess we, yeah. I just don't like to use rec.query is really the thing. So I could say this, you know, result.subscription ID. I like to decouple the route stuff from the controller/model stuff. So I could probably do that right there. Because ultimately, when I refactor this, this file should just have app.get or app.whatever, and then some function will go here, and all these things will be moved out. And the only thing that might stay here would be this sort of thing. If this was a function, just converting the information into the correct format. Okay. So let's say that I did get these subscription details from the subscription ID. That would be the external ID. And what I would be looking for on this is to see if it's activated, because there's no way for me to authenticate this. Well, except maybe by using the token. I don't know. So let's try this. I'm going to go back and look at the API here, and we're going to construct this in curl. So here's our sandbox. And I think this is going to work, actually. So we're going to call this test.sh. Should probably call it something more descriptive, such as test subscriptions, but we're going to do, let's see, my sub ID equals, and then let's take it from right here, my sub ID. All right, so there we go. And I'm just going to put a little thing at the top so it's clear this is bash, not that it really matters, but we're going to have my token equals. I always like to, in bash, just my personal habit, is I always prefix the local variables with my. And then maybe this is the token. Again, I don't know BA token versus token, but we're going to go with that. And then I'm going to have, we're going to get rid of all this, and we're going to say my sub ID, and then we're going to get rid of this, and we're going to say my token. And let's see if this gives us valid information. Invalid token. Token signature verification failed. So let's try my BA token. Okay. Okay, let's see if that one works. I wish I could get information on what this is useful for. Token signature failed. Okay, so these tokens are not useful, at least in this way. We could try one more thing, which is, say, basic. And we could try this a couple of ways. We could say, I'm going to try this. Let's just run that. Nope. Client authentication failed. Let's try this way. Nope. Authentication failed. And then there's two more things we can try. We could try using my token in front, my BA token behind, and then we can flippy do it and see if the other way works. Error reading certificate. Interesting. So let's do this instead. Let's add a -k there, and let's see if this works that way. Nope. I don't know what that's about. So this did something different. So I'm just going to make note of that. Gave interesting error. But then let's go and try this the other way. Let's flippy flop it to be like that. Backend read error. So this is kind of interesting because both of these give an interesting error, but neither one of them seem to work. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, that might be the reason. Okay. Yeah, I even had my little linter complaining about that. I do not know how to pronounce your name, by the way. Bogusla? That's my best attempt there. Okay. So, again, I'm just going to have to contact support and figure out what to do, because I could not find any documentation about token or BA token. So as far as I can tell, these webhooks are not authenticated, which means that my code right now is broken. Because if we look at this, if I go into lib purchase, if you know what my webhook URL is, you can just fake it. And I'm wondering, is there any way that I can change this? The way that it works in the browser or something? Let me go. Yeah, so where I'm calling activate right here, as far as I can tell, let me go look here. Let's scroll through. So we have a big fat security problem on all these things. So let me just put this here. To do security. Authenticate Web Hook. And I think the way that we're going to do this, I think the simplest way to do this is for me to add a query parameter, which is going to be token equals XXX, whatever. And for me to put that into the PayPal interface for the webhook, because there's no information that I can see that can be used here to validate. Let's go to where it is. Event. I don't have. I'm not showing the data anymore. This is okay. I'm going to log into the sandbox real quick. So like it says right over here, it says log into dashboard. Oops. Let me go all the way up. Log into dashboard. So let's go ahead and log into dashboard. And no, this one. Yes.
I'm going to the doctor's.
Okay.
I'll leave this open just in case if she wakes up.
Okay.
She's asleep.
All right. Thanks. So here's the sandbox account. That's the default application. I think this is where I go. There's a way for me to look at notifications, sandbox notifications. Here we go. I guess I could look at the API as well, but it's nice to see this is exactly what was sent. No, webhook events. There we go. Webhook events. Oh, so that's the email inbox to let us know what it looks like. Cool. So this tells us that something went wrong. That's great. ID, summary. There's no sort of, I mean, we can look through this. It's not going to be in the inner bit here. Transmissions. Status 500. It's interesting that it doesn't give the ability to resend on this. But yeah, there's nothing here to authenticate this. So any Joe Bozo, if he knows what my webhook address is, could just, you know, fake it out. So let's go ahead and add authentication to this because that makes sense. I'm going to bring up my node cheat sheet. I just made some edits to it earlier today. So I've got a secure compare function here for string comparison. And I am going to publish this on a blog sometime. I'm going to put it on the Beyond Code blog. But for right now, I'm just going to, under lib, I'm going to do secure compare.js. This is one of those things, it's just, to me, it doesn't make any sense for this to be a dependency. That just introduces opportunities for vulnerabilities in your code when all you need is one function. A little copying is better than a little dependency. That is G08 from the Go Proverbs, meaning Go Proverbs line 8. creedsofcraftsmanship.com if you want to learn credos of craftsmanship. creedsofcraftsmanship.com. Sometimes I say creeds, sometimes I say credos, so I wanted to be particular there. Anyway, so here's our secure compare function. So inside of lib, I guess app.js is where we're going to go. So for this, we're going to do let secure compare equal require lib secure compare.js. And we're going to do if not rec.query dot, we can just call it token. Then we can throw new error. And this, we could make this one, I'm going to do it this way. Error dot status equals 401. Error dot code equals unauthorized. And my middleware handler knows what to do if there's a status. So I just basically want that to return 401 rather than 500, so that when I'm looking at the logs, I can tell. So if there's not a rec.query.token, or, well, I think secure compare will fail early in that particular case. Doesn't matter. We don't want it to fail early. Whatever. Then here we'd want config.paypal webhook token. Right? I'm going to open this up in the other window real quick and make sure that I've got that in my environment, and then make sure that I've got it in my config file as well. So we'll open it right here to make sure we got it in the config file. So we have PayPal webhook secret. There we go. Let's not call it token, because token actually is not the right name for it. Let's call it secret. Oops. There we go. Great. So in the other window, I'm just going to open up my file and see if I already put that in there. I don't think I did. I think that was something that I was thinking about but didn't do yet. Okay, PayPal. Yeah, I don't have that in there yet. So I have a little function that I need to copy over to the server. So locally, I have a little function in Fish that's RND, and it just prints out a random string, as you can see here. I'm trying to see how long it takes to generate one that does not have a hyphen or a dash in it. There we go. I'm thinking about switching over to base 62 for all of my token-like things. All right, PayPal webhook secret equals. Now, of course, you just saw this, but it doesn't matter. This is a sandbox account. So, but I'm not going to show my other secrets because some of them are not sandbox. Well, no, I think they all are. I don't think there was anything that I had to use a production key in for this, but sometimes, you know, sometimes you have to. Okay, so PayPal webhook secret is in config, right? That's what we said. Webhook, yeah. Okay. So we're going to do a secure compare of these two. And that will be that. So we need to go update in the dashboard. I'm going to go to my app and credentials. I'm going to go to default app under the sandbox. Error retrieving applications. Please try again. Okay, I'll just refresh. There we are. Default application. And this might show some secrets. No, good, it doesn't. All right, so I'm going to add a webhook. It's going to be the same thing as this. So I'm going to say add webhook. It's also going to listen for all events. But we're going to do secret equals, and then I'm going to paste in my secret. This way I don't have to take the ID and then go make another call out to PayPal to get the information that it literally just gave me. And we don't necessarily have to do this as a query param. I could have done it like this instead, and that would be acceptable. But I'm choosing to do it as a query param. I think that that is more appropriate for this sort of thing. Okay, so we want all events. See, you are responsible for the safety and security of the data that you transmit through webhooks. So I wish they were a little bit more clear in that you should add a secret to your webhook, and you should not send back sensitive data to a webhook request. So when a webhook makes a request, you should not send back sensitive data. I think that they should define this better, because for all new webhooks, they certainly could require all new webhooks have a secret, and they could, on their own end, they could add something and just tell you that they could tell you for this webhook it's this secret. They could have a little show secrets thing, just like they do with the other one. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and save this. And then we're going to delete this one here. Deleted. And that's the best we can do, as far as I'm aware. Let's see what happened over here. Did we get any test events? Sometimes you get a test event when you add a webhook to let you know. So let's go ahead and try resending. Let's do webhook events over here. Let's see if we resend a webhook event, if it'll send it to the new webhook address. So I'm surprised this says pending when it gets an error, but resend when it gets success. It seems it should be the opposite. It tells you, you know, like, because if you went and sent back an error, anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's see resend. Let's see if that will work for us. I don't know what to make of it. Come on. Probably going to take 30 seconds or so. All right. Well. I'm just going to put a note here. Note. unless we explicitly set PayPal checkout requires that we handle URL authentication. Okay. So I feel a little bit better about that. Let's see, did this go through again? Does not look like it went through again to me. I'm going to just, again, go through the process. It says it was sent, but I don't see it here. I'm going to refresh and see. Okay, it says it's pending. Oh, good. It got an error. So this may be because it went to the wrong URL. Let's see what response it got back. Oh, it doesn't tell it was status. Let's try this one. Maybe it tells us. I'm a little confused. Transmissions. Status success. Status pending. Status 401. URL. Secret. Okay. I wonder why that would be. Maybe it's because all right, let's try that out. Now I have, before I didn't actually have the PayPal webhook secret. Let's see, config PayPal webhook secret. I may have added the secret to the file after I made the change, and so maybe it wasn't loaded yet. Let's try again now. I'm going to do resend on this one. Let's see what we get. We should see it pop up here when it's ready to go. So what are y'all up to today? What are you working on? Oh, did we get it? Activated. Okay, that one looks like it went through. So let's hit refresh here. Interesting. It says it's pending. Here, that looks successful to me. Let's see, transmissions, HTTP status 200. And this one, oh, that one doesn't have it. Okay, so their database just isn't updated yet. That's what I'm getting from this. Yeah. So this one is pending, literally pending, not failed. Because some of the other ones that say pending, they just failed. So this one, yeah, there we go. So now we go back here and we should see two transmissions in the transmission object. So transmissions, status 200 and status pending. Is it possible? But did something happen where it didn't end up returning? It seems that this event would have completed. I don't know how it wouldn't have. Let's just refresh this one more time and then see if maybe it's on this side. Because it says it's got the check there. But it's confusing me with the transmission showing. Ah, there it is. So their database just updates a little slow. Slow. I mean, it is kind of, PayPal's kind of a big deal. But their sandbox database, it seems it would update. Are there that many sandbox requests going through? I guess their sandbox is much lower priority than their other services and servers or whatever. You know. Okay, cool. So that's good. That security crisis averted. Kind of, sort of. So that's one security crisis averted. Now, the other one, we still need to figure out that one. Which I guess it's not that big of a deal. Let's see. Is there any way? This one, maybe this one is the same way. No, if we can't put a secret in here because it's going to be exposed to the browser. And this, what we should have, I'm gonna go in here. Base URL and app URL. Base URL. And then app URL. Yep. So here, this should not be so. The host, let host equal this. We could just assume maybe it should be host name. I'm not sure. So this should be our API base URL, which can be different. So what I would say is if the host is not equal to config dot, well, is that the right way to put it? Well, no matter which way this goes, the ultimate redirect. Let's see, where are we doing the redirect at the end? So what we could put in here is, let's see. Is that even the right thing to do? What is this going to? No. This would be maybe origin. I don't know. I gotta think about this. To do. How to define redirect. Front end redirect URL if there are many. I'm just gonna get rid of this for now, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do for the immediate bit. So we'd still have to check this again anyway, but let's take that and then let's add it to this. And let's take that and let's add it to this. And this will be config.app URL. We might want to have app URLs. There we go. And that's not quite right either. Because what we would need is let redirect domain equal, and then we would take the base URL and we would just strip the non-URL friendly characters out of it. Let's just call this no, we just leave it. It's good. We'll just call it redirect URL and we'll just put that there. There we are. Not redirect domain. It's just redirect URL. And we're going to do an escape. I guess we could have run query string.stringify. That would be appropriate. Yeah, that probably would be. And this would be redirect query. And then we could just call this redirect query. There we go. That makes sense. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to use the built-in query string. Oh, heaven forbid I use, yeah, that's going to be the simplest way to go. Because I could use URL, but then you have to parse it and you have to build it, and it's not worth using the URL object because there's a node URL module. I don't use that anymore now. I use the built-in URL object. But for query stringification, that's probably not the best thing to use because reasons. Anyway, so I'm going to query stringify the app URL. That makes sure that it's escaped nicely and everything. And I'm not actually going to use that yet because when we get the return here, I'm going to also put another to do, check the redirect URL. It's going to be up to us to make sure we get the redirect URL right, that it's valid. Because we don't want to allow redirecting. The problem with this is that all of this back and forth is happening in the user's browser, and it means that the user can do evil things, or potentially other websites. A website could hit. Let's see. So here's another thing I need to do. I need to just block browsers that are not good ones. So I'm just going to put a to-do in here. You can't determine if a browser is good, but you can determine if it's bad. Or, yeah. There are ways to not have false positives. No, to not have false negatives. Sorry, let me re-say this. Basically, I'll think on it for a second, then I'll get back to it. Okay, so redirects. So we got cores, domains. I'm going to do a little code and then I'm going to talk about it. Or not code, but some comments here. Okay, so basically, if the person is not from our site, we don't want to allow them to hit the redirect with the buy button, because what could happen, I don't really know what use it would be to anyone else, other than maybe getting the person's email address. If you wanted to have them pay money to my account just to get their email address, I don't know what exactly that could be, but in general, this is one of the security checks you want to do, is you want to make sure when you're doing redirects, you're only accepting redirects that are coming from domains that you trust. So we want to make sure that a redirect is either coming from PayPal or it's coming from one of the sites that is allowed to use this API. And then we want to check that when we go to do a redirect client side or server side, that the redirect that we do is to a site that we trust. So we get requests for these redirects from sites that we trust. And when we do a redirect, we only do it to sites that we trust. I didn't realize this was going to be so involved today. Okay. So in this case, I'm using res.redirect. What I need to do is actually use config.app URL. That's good. Because when this goes into, right now in development, and this is dumb of me, but right now in development, I'm loading the app and the API from the same domain. But in production, the client front end, the HTML, CSS, JavaScript is going to be loaded from bliss.js.org, and then the API is going to be loaded from therootcompany.com. And so there's going to be a mismatch there. And so we do want to allow for this mismatch, but we don't want some other site to be able to take advantage of it. That's the thing. Okay, so and in this one, when we're handling the redirect that we get from the client side, we have no guarantee that it came from PayPal. So if the user were to have seen the subscription ID somehow, which I don't know where, when and where all that's made available, I don't think that we handed out on our side, because when we create the subscription, then we create a redirect for it, right? Hold on, let me go take a look at this. Oh yeah. So the subscription link we get from PayPal has the subscription ID in the link, which means that a user could just take that subscription ID that's in the link, and without paying, they could then use that information in the return URL and get me to fake out that they had bought the subscription. That's what I'm trying to protect against. So I need to take the ID that they give me, and I need to check that the status on the subscription actually has become active. That's what I need to check. And so I think we say if subscription.status, let's see, I think it's if active is not equal to subscription.status, then I need to go import some error stuff because I'm just growing technical debt and doing these ad hoc errors rather than using a defined set of errors. But I'm gonna keep doing a lot. It's really easy to fix later, pretty much in copy paste fashion. It's very quick. It can almost be automated. Actually, it can be automated. Excuse me, because I've done that before. So I'm just going to keep building up technical debt here. So this would be, I don't know. Bad request. Just be level 400. Whoops. And I don't think we want to expose the PayPal errors here. So I'm going to go ahead and catch in case there's any PayPal errors. And we're just going to return null. And then I'm going to do that check there. And let me go see what the subscription object looks like more clearly again. We should see show subscription details. Plan ID, start time, quantity, subscriber. Billing info. So I should also have the subscriber in here. And their email address. Okay. Billing info. Do I have status on here? Status is active. Okay. So status should not be pending. Status should be active. And then I guess. I'll go back here. So if this is not active, I'm imagining that it's the user spoofing. It's just bogus garbage. Otherwise, we'll get subscription subscriber and we'll have the user's email address in there. And then what I'm going to have to do is we're going to have to go one level up on this. Maybe. Because if the user isn't logged in, we should be able to log in the user. If they don't have an account, we should be able to create their account. So if I'm not mistaken, what we can do at this point also is say user fk rec dot user dot sub. So if the user's logged in, And that one won't be true. Oh, this one, that can't possibly be true here either. It can only possibly be true there and where we create the subscription. Where do we create the subscription? Subscription dot create. Whoa. Dot create, right? Yeah. So here, oh yeah, we've already got that there. Great. Oh, but do we want, let me go look at the activate function. Whoops. Boom, 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 boom. See, we got some more people joining in. I want to welcome you. Give me just a second here. So which way was I doing this? Activate this. Okay, yeah, this is a good way to do it. Maybe. Activate, update, update. I don't want to delete the email if they have an email, but if I'm doing an activation, let's see, create request. Let me look at create request. Let me go back to where I was. Whoops, nope, not there. Let's see, activate, subscription, email. Okay, so if I'm doing the activate here, and this is part of what? This is part of that. So they are guaranteed, if this comes through, it is not reasonable, because it would have just been created. Activate. Hold on, I gotta think through something real quick, and then I'll say hello and all that. So, right, so if we're looking at this, then it's completed the return cycle. If it's active and it's completed the return cycle, they were probably already logged in to begin with. It's not possible for them to log in between a redirect. It's not reasonable. So if they don't have, if it's not here during create request, it won't be there during activate, because they'd have to stall, go open it up in another browser, log in and come back. And at that point, who knows, it could even be the wrong user. I mean, that's nonsense. But you have to think about these things. But that's nonsense. A real user wouldn't stop in the middle of a payment process, go in another tab, log in as a different user, and then click continue. But it's okay, we don't need it. All right, so for those of you that are just joining in, hello and welcome. I'm AJ. I'd love to know who you are, where you're from, what brings you to the channel today. And you can feel free to ask me questions about doing this PayPal checkout stuff. I actually have been working more on the security aspect of it than the other aspects that I think I put in the description. Just because I was going through, I was thinking, oh, I haven't handled the security stuff yet. I need to do that. Okay. So we don't actually need to check if the user's logged in. It doesn't matter at that point, because I'll just put here, doesn't matter if the user has logged in or not. Let's see, note. The user either would log in later, log in sooner, or later, but not between requests. The simpler language. A user would not log in during a purchase. So we don't use their ID here. Okay, there we go. That's good enough for me. Also, I might want to go back and add this to my SDK documentation. Let me go find out where that went. I think it's here on my local computer. Okay. Oh, look at this. I can actually watch myself over here, and there's not much lag to it. I have to keep that in mind. Maybe I could put a bigger screen right here. Or stack them double ways. And that's an interesting idea. Okay. Anyway, what was I going to do? I was going to look at the README. And I was going to see... Oh, whoops. Huh, my mouse was over there, not over here. Okay. You must set up a security secret or token must put a secret or token in your URL. Let's see. Let's see. And otherwise, an attacker could just send random crap to your webhooks, making it look like they've paid for all sorts of things. I would imagine that of sites that are using PayPal on the back end, there's probably a great many of them that are vulnerable to attack. I would imagine that if you could learn their URL structure or what framework they're using for PayPal, you could wreak some havoc on them, which of course I would not recommend that you do. I'm just saying there's probably a lot of vulnerable PayPal sites out in the wild because of them not... It's weird for a payment service to not give you the tools to make the authentication easy, the validation and whatnot. Anyway, what was I going to put in here? Let's see. Security. Let's just put that here. Subscriber emails are verified by PayPal. Whoops. Okay, let me go back here. And I need to go say thank you to the person who gave me that information, which I guess I can do by clicking on this tweet. There we go. There we go. Actually, I'm just going to copy and paste some stuff here so I've got this in the documentation. What? Oh, huh. Apparently when I did a control click on that, it didn't capture the parts of the URL that, or command click, that went to the next line. Okay, let me open up that tweet again. Whoops. All right, is there we go. I've got that in my documentation. Through guaranteed to have been PayPal. There we go. All right, so that's one thing. Was there something else I want to put in here? I think I put in the things I wanted to put in there. Notes about that. So now that I've got that documented there, I don't know that I need all that here. I'll just put note. PayPal ensures that email addresses are verified. Yeah, let's get that out of there. To do lookup. Okay, cool. And I probably should go ahead and just update this. Let me make sure. Oh, what's in the to-do here? Sandbox versus live, update JS doc, got it. Okay, I know about those things. So I'm just going to put commit docs, add notes on webhook and email address security. Cool. Oh, really? There we go. Okay, that's done. All right, so what do I need to do next? I think there was still one return URL that I need to deal with. I guess the cancel. The cancel URL, I don't know if it needs to hit the server. I suppose we need to do the same. The same little bit. We probably need to make these subscription URLs as well. I don't know if there's other processes that could be canceled. Maybe I'll wait to do that until I know if there's other processes that need to be canceled. And just 1 second, I'm going to go check the door. I heard some noise over there. I don't know if that was my wife coming back or a kid knocking. Honey? Oh, okay, you came back. All right. It's my wife. She just snuck in with just a little knock sound. Okay. Bum 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 bum. All right, so what should we do on the return? I guess we do the same thing. Subscription can be canceled, right? Show subscription, activate subscription, cancel subscription. What is that going to show? No content? Inactive. Oh, that's subscription. Plan. Canceled. There we go. Let's see. Is that the American or the British spelling of canceled? I think that is the British spelling of canceled, which is odd. Is PayPal? Ah, Elon Musk, South African, British spelling. Okay. Wait, this is Braintree, which is Utah, which should be English spelling. Yes. Which version of the API is this? This is V1. Okay, so V1, Elon Musk. V2, Braintree. Got it. So V1 will have British spellings and V2 will have American spellings. I don't even know if that's entirely true because, let's see, the billing subscription. Yeah, because sometimes I tell you that you need to use the Braintree SDK instead of the PayPal SDK because, you know, the two are a little mixy-trixy. Okay, so what I would expect then, if we go to cancel, is that we can do the same thing that we did here. We'll grab the query. I don't know what comes back in that query if you hit cancel. I'm assuming the ID comes back. We'll have to try it out. But I'm going to go ahead and put this there, assuming that it's going to behave as I expect it to behave. And then if it doesn't, then I will update it. But I'm assuming that we're going to see canceled British spelling is going to be subscription status. And then we're going to give a bad request. And then we're going to redirect. And really, these errors, it shouldn't throw the error. What it should do instead is, yeah, in this particular case, yeah, we should not be throwing the error. We should be doing a premature, well, I guess in this case it's not premature, but we should be doing a redirect, and then we should be adding query string dot stringify, and then putting in error. It's going to be what? Bad request, and then error status is going to be 400. I don't know. Error description is going to be subscription .id is subscription.status. So maybe we should do result.subscription ID. That'll probably be correct. And then I probably need to, let's see, query string. Let's bring that up to the top up here with, well, really nothing. There's no other node things we're doing, but that looks right. There we go. Query error. And then instead of a plus, we could just do query error. All right, that looks good. So then we'll take this same type of thing and we'll apply it down to the canceled, because that's an error for the front end to figure out what to do with. Cool, same thing. Good. Okay. Rect.query has to be at least an empty object here, right? Am I right? I don't know if I'm right. I think I'm right. All right, so let's try the error process now. Let's see how that goes for us. And do I still have the logs running? Yeah, I'm going to move this out of the way because we don't need that right now. Okay, we're going to get rid of this. Staying all on the back end still. Go over here. All right, and internal server error, but why? Invalid request. Request is not well formed. Bad response. What did I do wrong? I must have done something wrong. Okay, let's go check on that. This was the create request. Create request. I think I might know what I did wrong. Config.base URL. Oh, I know what's wrong. It's this right here. That's what's wrong. Okay, cool. All's well. All right, let's go back and do it again. And this is sandbox account. No, this should be my junk user. There we go. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to cancel this time. Dang it. All right. Rex PayPal checkout undefined. Bad request. Such and such and such and such. Okay. So, PayPal checkout / undefined. We got app URL here, right? In the right place? App URL. Yep. Base URL. Yep. Okay, that's all right. And what's going on here? Return. Redirect query. Config app URL. Oh, this is not in here. Maybe I'm doing a stupid thing by reduplicating these. I don't know if that's the right use of the word reduplicate. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. Duplicate would certainly work. All right, let's try it again. I think it's going to work this time because I think the issue was just that it was undefined. Okay, so I'm not going to agree and subscribe. I'm going to cancel. Good. Wait, it says return rather than cancel. Did I do that? Cancel URL. Let's see here. Okay, that looks good. Okay, we'll go with it. I think my other issue then was in this cancel, my redirect is to the return rather than to the cancel. Okay, I think that's all right. Okay, but did I get what I was expecting here? Invalid regular expression flags. Nope. Did I get my cancel? Yes. Okay, so I get a token and a BA token and a subscription ID on cancel as well, which is what I was expecting. So it's all good. Maybe. Wait, what did this say? Bad request. Error status, subscription, blah, 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 approval pending. But I canceled it. We don't have an approval pending there. So what we might have, oh, hey, Young64, I don't know how we say that there. So what I'm working on, sorry I didn't see you there earlier, is PayPal checkout. I'm working on PayPal checkout. And I think I may have just hit a problem where, so the problem that I'm kind of working through is PayPal URLs, PayPal checkout URLs are not authenticated. There's no signature, there's no token, nada. Okay? And it seems that PayPal is slow in updating its database. So it may send a URL and tell you some information. And then if you go check the information, PayPal may not have updated. It may give you the response before it's updated the database, or at least before the database changes have propagated to where you can retrieve them, which is somewhat of a terrible condition because it means that you have no way of knowing if you're getting, well, it means you end up just having to pull PayPal and you can't give your user an immediate response to know whether or not after they've clicked agree and PayPal has redirected you from PayPal to your site, you may or may not be able to know if that actually happens. So I'm going to try this again. I just tried the cancel. So I'm going to try the cancel first. So we're going to go settings, go check out with PayPal. So we're going to upgrade the service. We're going to check out with PayPal. I'm logged in. Huzzah. Okay, let's see what all information is it putting in there. Equals commit. User action equals commit. Blah, 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 blah. That's funny because I said that user action should be subscribe, but I guess until you choose a way to pay, it doesn't. But what I want to do is say cancel. And here's the funny thing. So the cancel URL does not actually, this is a little counterintuitive because I can see right here, you probably can't see down there because the letters are too tiny. But the cancel URL doesn't actually update on the PayPal end. Interesting. So if I click this, I'm going to get an error every single time. So it is in fact my responsibility. If they click cancel, it is my responsibility to cancel. Okay, so to do. Confirmed that PayPal does not mark the subscription canceled. It is my responsibility to do so. Ostensibly after asking the user if they're sure. Okay, I can see why it might do that. Because then you're just going to you're creating a canceled record. But whatever. Okay, we're gonna do this again. And this time I'm going to try going through the normal flow. This is something that needs to be in the documentation, for sure. So I've got some documentation for the PayPal API that I'm keeping for the SDK that I am writing because their SDK doesn't have any documentation. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Do we have the cancel? Let's see here. Note. The cancel URL will not update the subscription status. PayPal presents the raw cancel URL and will not update the subscription status. It's up to you to confirm with the user and change the status to canceled. I don't know if that's the right wording, but whatever. Return URL, cancel URL. That doesn't seem right. Okay, there we go. Let's see. The cancel URL will have the same query params as the return URL. Also, all right, there we go. So I'm just gonna, whoops, do commit docs notes on canceling subscription. Cool. Okay, what else we got? And what does it say? I'm switching back and forth between British and English spellings. Canceled is one of those terrible words. Okay. So I think I'm as good as I can be there for now. I'm not too worried about much else in this category. All right. So when they do the return, we're going to check to see if things are active. If we should have a user email in the subscription at that point. And what else? So I guess if we're updating activate, I think it's in the activate function is where I'm making sure that the plan, or not the plan, the product, no, the purchase, the payment is updated as well. Okay. So I think it is fair at the point that the subscription is activated. I think it's fair to add the product to the user's account. So I think that we need a purchases table. I think that is indeed what we need. So let's go over to this. And a purchase would be a link between a user and a product or bundle. Okay, so a user has to be on a plan, there's got to be a subscription, there's got to be payments. Well, no, I guess that's what a payment already is. Maybe I should call payments purchases instead. Because a payment is purchasing either a product or a subscription. Kind of, sort of. Okay, so here's a scenario. Let's say the subscription renews on a particular date. Let's say there's some lapse in time between when a person has a payment which is linked to a product and or subscription and when the next payment is made, then what is to be understood? I think we give them a leeway of, say, 3 days or something. Because if we give them a leeway of 3 days, the subscription may kick in, should kick in within 24 hours. And if it's a Sunday or a holiday or something else, 3 days should be good enough. And then realistically, we probably want to give them 30 days. But even if we didn't, even if we said, okay, your subscription's coming to an end in 30 days ahead of time, still give them a 3-day leeway. Probably makes sense. But I don't have to worry about that right now. Right now, all I need to do is figure out the relationship between a user and a product. Okay, so we should now have a way to figure out that the question is, how do we know what the user's current status is with these products? I don't know, I kind of feel that payments is its own thing, and that the user should get a product that is for a certain amount of time. Because a user could get access to a product through a promo code that doesn't have a payment. So I think it's good to have product and subscription information in the payment, but I also think it's duplicate information. Well, maybe not the subscription, but the product is probably duplicate information. So we do need some sort of relationship between user and product. Let's just go with this for now. One of the issues with this, though, is that we don't have... It doesn't tell us how long it's good for. For that, well, we got to look up the information anyway. But the payment can come through. Okay, let's take a look at this again. First of all, I don't know if product FK is actually referenced. So let's do product FK. Seeds. Yeah, we're not even referencing that in the code as of yet. So let's say a payment goes through. Billing agreement ID links the payment to a subscription, but it doesn't link the payment to a product. Payment might be linked to a product through some other means. So let's see if we can get down to what the product is from the subscription. I think that should happen. Well, let's see. If we get the subscription details. Now, what information should go into a log here? get by external ID. Okay, billing agreement ID. So I think the next thing that I actually want to update is doing one-time payments as well. So let's go take a look at that. So let's say we don't want the user to subscribe. We just want to do a one-time payment. What does that look like? Let's go over here, because I think that's a better thing to look towards. I'll just see, can we show? It's interesting there doesn't seem to be a way to show a list of payments that have happened. Orders, maybe. I don't see a way to see a list of subscriptions or a list of orders. So you have to catch it. You better catch it. If your service somehow goes down, which is highly unlikely that's going to go down in the middle of a process, or rather at the end of a process when the person's just approved. But you better capture that. Okay, let's look at orders though. And I already had some order stuff worked out in my little demo. Oh no. You got another API. Oh no. Is it on the same page, or is it's a completely different page in the documentation? Oh, bother. All right, this is okay though. We're going to take a look at this. What? Let me see. And I think this prefer stuff, I need to go check the subscriptions, but I think this prefer stuff is only available in the V2 APIs. I'm going to go open this up and see. Prefer. No, it's available everywhere. Content type must be application JSON. It's kind of a funny way of saying this though, because they say application format, and then but format must be JSON. Why not just say application JSON? Okay, so that's V1 and it still has the same thing. We've got restores keys for 72 hours. Whatever. All right, so we're going to make an order. I don't know what this metadata ID is about. Or partner attribution ID. I like that it has these, but then gives no description of what they are. And by I like that, I mean, no, I don't really like that. Okay, let me go look at my original demo, which I think, nope, it's not here. It is it over here? Node PayPal demo. I'm going to bring this over here in just a second. So this is kind of where this project started from before I started writing my own SDK. I was under the false assumption that the SDK that they provide was doing something for me. Whoa. That was a lot more than I thought it would be. So that already moved out. Okay. No. Oh yeah. Let's go into this one. That's what I was looking at. And I think it's at PayPal, right? Server, there we go. PayPal checkout. .core, .live environment, da 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 da. Create order request. So I did all this stuff. Order capture request. Was that it? Was those the only things that I needed to do? Okay, yeah. So we create an order to get the URL. So similar thing as the subscription, actually. So redirects. Was it here? Upgrade. Okay, so I'm calling it upgrade here. Maybe I should change these just a touch. So on the front end, let me go into the front end here. Oh, apparently I've already got that open somewhere else. Let me go check and see where else I have that open. Probably right here. Yep. So on the front end, I have this upgrade, and I think it said it should be PayPal subscribe. That makes sense. Hey, 3D Kingdom. I don't remember which comment you're referring to, but you are welcome for me responding to your comment. Was it GameCube stuff? Or was it something else? Because I don't know. For some reason, I think it was GameCube stuff. But if it was coding stuff, great. Oh, and then this needs to be... Oh, bother. So I need to put a little to-do in here. Use base URL. I don't know how we're going to do that, but we're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to do, redirects, PayPal checkout, subscribe. That makes sense. I could even do a query param on that. That would make me, I think I'd like that just as well. But no, I'm going to leave it like this for now. And I'm going to go back, and I'm going to update JavaScripto. And we're going to call this PayPal checkout, right? Because this is what we're calling it here too, isn't it? Yeah. And then we're going to call it, well, this one's going to be purchase, or this one's going to be order. And then this one's going to be subscribe. And that's how we're going to do it. Okay, I feel good about that. Let's make sure we don't use that email anywhere. Oh, we do use that email. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. Because here, the email would be tentative. Yeah, so I've got, right now, I have 2 Gamecubes and 4 power bricks, and I want to get I think, a purple Japanese GameCube. And I don't know why I want to do that. I like the idea of having a Japanese one. And I want to mix and match the colors a little bit so that it's purple with black trim. Let's see. To do. Should we trust the user's email or only take what we get from PayPal? Trust. Really, it's an unauthenticated. Should we trust an unauthenticated user's email? That's the question. So, 3D Kingdom, are you into code stuff too? So I guess this is fine. The only problem is that I want it to update with what we get from PayPal. I don't think I want this here. I think I'm gonna, oh, bless me. I think I'm gonna comment that out. Yeah, I don't want to take potentially what email they have. All right, so payment service, purchase, subscription, create. I guess maybe this should be product.subscribe rather than purchase.subscription.create. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to copy a bunch of this code. I think I'm just going to copy the whole block. Yeah, I'm going to copy the whole block here because this is going to be really similar. It's not going to be exact, but it's going to be similar. And the same thing with the return URL. I'm going to have to update that one as well. What are you coding and in what language? I'm working with PayPal. It's JavaScript, Node.js on the back end, and JavaScript on the front end. And so I'm basically just working through how to subscribe to a service with PayPal. I have this blog/notes service that I created, and I'm adding a PayPal checkout to it, both as a subscribe and as a one-time purchase. And I'm going to be using this across a few different products. And so my goal today is to get the PayPal subscription, the PayPal one-time purchase, and then I think that I'm going to stop the stream and restart the stream after dinner to do the PayPal, handling PayPal credit card. And I have another service that I'm going to be working with as well, other than PayPal, because PayPal, it's big fees. I think it's 8. If you've got small ticket items, it ends up being about 8.5%. If you got larger ticket items, I think it gets closer to 4%, because there's I think it's 3.5 plus 30 cents. So if you're dealing with things that are under $10, it's kind of pricey. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're at least 13. I don't think I'm allowed to talk to people that are under 13 online. I think there's some sort of YouTube something or other about that. I don't think you're allowed to be online if you're under 13, HTML and CSS. So neither HTML or CSS are programming languages, just so you know. Not to diss on what you're doing at all. That's great that you're learning stuff. But programming languages are languages that allow you to do logic. Those are, well, one's markup and the other one is basically markup. They're both kind of markup languages. Anyway, but that's great. I highly recommend that you learn as much as you can, as young as you can, because it's a tough world and it's only going to get tougher. And as globalization increases, it will be the people who take advantage of the opportunities that are presented them that have more opportunities given to them. And people that sit around and play video games all day, It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Unless you start streaming now, which if you're 13, I think you are allowed to stream. I mean, I don't know what your parents say, but I mean, legally in terms of the YouTubes and the California protection law and, you know, all that stuff that's going on. Oh, by the way, there is a 15-second delay or so. So when you say interesting, I didn't know that. I actually, and then there's the delay between when I read the messages. I don't know which thing you're talking about because I tend to ramble. So I'm assuming what you were talking about was the HTML and CSS bit. But if it was something else, I guess it doesn't matter that I know what it is that you didn't know, but I like to. So just know that there's a delay, and yeah. And oh, and I see somebody else just joined in. Hello, I'm AJ. Who are you, and what brings you to the channel today? I would love to know. I'm working on some PayPal checkout stuff. Okay, so the product order bit, what I am going to need to do, I'm going to have to go back to, let me find it here. Let me get over here. So I created my own SDK because it was easier to read the documentation for the REST API than it is to read the quote-unquote SDK documentation from PayPal, because they just add a bunch of layers of abstraction for no good reason, and it's more obscure. It's just more difficult to use. So it's nice to have just a tiny thin layer of abstraction, but that's really all that's needed. So I'm just looking at, for example, this right here, and that's all I need. I don't need a bunch of, you know. So then I just come over here and I say, well, let's just do this alphabetically, LMNOP. So before I do subscription is where I should put in my order stuff. So I'm going to do let order equals this, and then order dot, what are we calling it? I'm trying to stick to their naming conventions as well. Create order. Yeah. So, and it's just a lot easier to look at this REST API and follow it. So that's what I'm doing. So I've got a little tiny request wrapper object, and then oops. Wait a minute. Oh, right. Got it. So let me see. What does my order need to look like? Orders are a lot simpler than the other bits, because you just put in your, basically just do this. Create. And I suppose that the intent doesn't have to be capture. But I'm just going to paste this here, and then I'm going to go take a look at my other code where this was. Oh, and I need to make this an async function, of course. Content creation is my dream job. Well, then start now. Seriously. You know about OBS? Watch some of the dudes. OBS is available on Windows, Mac, and Linux. Go to restream.io and get a stream key set up with Twitch and YouTube. Use OBS, and I don't know what you'd use for a camera. You need a mic. That's one thing where, you know, if you're 13, it's a little hard to come across things. But better to just do anything than to not do anything. But you do need a mic, and a decent mic's going to cost you $100. I could link you to one if you're interested. Let me know. I'll link you to one that is only 30, and it's good. It's not bad at all. But if you want to start streaming, that is the one thing that you need, because you can do some interesting stuff. You know, take a lamp that you have at home and put a $1 sheet of the Walmart dispersion cloth that you get from the craft section in front of it, and some tape, and stay really low budget there, and either plug it, there's some software I think that will allow you to use your phone as a webcam, so you can do that, so you can get better quality than what you get out of your computer's webcam. But just start doing it, and just do it, whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to be you're probably not going to be the Minecraft player that everybody watches, but just pick something that you like to do and stream it every day. Or just pick stuff that, while you're on the computer, just stream something. If you're gaming or learning to program or studying. There's a guy who has a channel, has a bajillion followers, and all he does is sit there and he opens a book and he reads. And that's it. There's nothing else that he does. He doesn't talk to the people. He sits there until the timer goes off, and then he responds to a couple of messages after about 50 minutes or 60 minutes. He responds to a couple of messages, uses the bathroom, and then goes back. And he's actually a guy that's local here where I am. He goes to the BYU, which is the university that I went to. But let me see if I can find out about him real quick. BYU YouTube streamer studier. But you just do it for a long time. You pick some sort of, and you figure out what people like, maybe, if you want to go that route. I mean, probably better if you pick what you like. But you can just kind of see what people respond to. So, for example, I have more people that respond about the Gamecube stuff, but really I'm a programmer. I just happen to, play a little now and then. Okay. I don't know if I can find this guy. I think his channel might be Study With Me or something. Study With Me. Let me see. Study With Me. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I can't find him right now. And it's a little off the beaten path, so I won't go any further in that direction. But just an example, somebody who hardly does anything. In terms of preparation, he just turns on the camera and he studies. And he's inspirational. People feel that they feel like they have someone to study with when they're watching the stream and they're studying, he's studying, and he gets to his breaks and checks the chat and whatnot. Okay, so I do need to go check this, and I saw somebody else joined in. So hello, welcome to the channel. I'm AJ. I'd love to know who you are, where you're from, and what brings you here today, or what you'd like to learn. If there's any questions I can answer for you about programming, JavaScript, Rust, Golang, those are my main areas of expertise. Although I know the DOM quite well. Okay, so what is it that I need to do here? We need to pass in, we're going to pass in the order, and I'm going to say if not order.intent, then order.intent equals capture. I think that's very reasonable to do. I'll do this order.intents. And I know I spelled capture wrong. I'm going to fix that in just a second. And the reason that I'm doing this is just for the linter, because I'm going to enable type linting on this at some point, and then publish so that TypeScript projects know that it's being type linted. And this is just to help prevent typos. So if somebody wants to use it, they want to get the autocomplete, because obviously it's easier to use the string, but it's also easy to typo the string. If you have it like this, you can't possibly typo that if you've got type linting enabled. And you don't have to have TypeScript to have type linting. Anyway, so there's going to be that, and then when we have purchase units, So I guess we could just do a little check here. So if not, purchase units dot length and throw new error. You're an idiot. Let's put those in single quotes there. I'm going to have to go through here and do the daggone error messages stuff. Okay. And then, yeah, I guess I'm not really going to worry about that much else. I am going to go back and then check out, because I don't remember having all that information here. Let me go, where is it? Order? Is it in this one? PayPal demo, yeah. App. PayPal. Am I in the right place? I'm not in the right place. Why am I not in the right place? PayPal demo. Yes, that's where I want to be, isn't it? Lib. None of this was important. Well, not for what I'm looking at right now. I could have sworn I was just in this file. At PayPal. What the letter L, man? Oh, it is in server. Okay. Because I was just doing this willy-nilly kind of thing. Okay. PayPal HTTP client, blah, 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 blah. And then execute order. We're going to create an order. Orders create. Build request. Oh, yeah, that's the one. That's the one that kills me. Okay, so application context is good to have. We want to have that. And purchase units is good to have. And apparently this can be a really big, crazy thing. But we don't need shipping. Let's see, amount. And then items is items and amount. Okay, items is separate. And we don't even need that. So we can just have amount. We don't even have to have any of this stuff. That's crazy. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Bum, 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 bum. Is this correct? Is this real? It just seems so different. Capture and authorize. There we go. Put that in there. Boop, boop, boop. Sorry. Go back here. Capture. What? No. Am I looking at the right thing? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Dang it. Okay. There we go. Those are the only two possible intents. Okay, we do want the application context. Okay, reference ID. So I guess reference ID is supposed to be the product ID. I think that's what this is supposed to mean. Or the bundle ID or something. Okay, amount. Tax amount, shipping amount, blah, blah, blah. Payment instruction, description. Okay, a custom ID. Huh. I wonder what is reference ID? Oh, okay, got it. Got it. So essentially this is the index. So this could be 0, 1, 2, 3. This is just, okay, got it. Got it. This is an index. So that needs to exist. But it would be just as well. It could be random. It could be an index. Oh, and maximum length is 256, so there's no minimum length. All right, that makes sense. What else we got? Invoice ID, soft descriptor. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Check it out. PayPal prefix plus space. Merchant descriptor space soft descriptor. Cool. All right, so I know what I want this to be then. Yeah, this documentation is the documentation to follow. It is almost of no value to use anything else, to use the SDKs themselves. All right, name, unit amount, tax, quantity, description, SKU, category. Yeah, so item almost seems the same as a product, but I guess it's not. And boy, am I hungry. I can feel my rumbly and my tumbly. I need to finish this up within a couple minutes and come back later for the rest, I guess. But I'm getting hungry, and I don't like being hungry. And you won't like me when I'm hungry. You know? Oh, bless me. So this is the minimum required, is this right here. But this is not what I want to do. I don't want to do the minimum because that doesn't even make sense. There's good, useful information that you can have in here. And it would not make any sense to omit it. Well, let's just go ahead and say, let me give a reference for this. Oops, orders, create order. All right. I think I'll put that in the documentation as well, in the README. Because all of that's pretty darn important. I mean, it might get out of date or whatever, but... Ooh, yeah, and I should do this too. Okay. So I'm gonna say, okay, so here we have got three different things going on here. Because we got the information about the subscriptions. And we've got information about orders, and they're fundamentally different. They're very different parts of the API. They behave differently. They follow different rules in terms of what you're allowed to do with credit cards. So I think I am going to have this be separate and say, well, this section is subscriptions, and this section is orders. And we're gonna say this is one-time payments and this is recurring payments. And I'm gonna put orders, well, you know what? It deserves to be later. And the reason for this is simple. If you're not doing, whoops, recurring payments, you are not living in 2021. Be interested to see what the webhook event will be for this. So this will be order, and this is really create request is what I'm going to label it as, because that's the function that I think that it's going to fill. I think it's going to be the same as what we have elsewhere. So let me go ahead and I'm going to name this create request, because we're going to get the links. It's not really creating the order, it's creating the request for the order. You know, tomato, potato, and all that. But let's see, we got our tests here. We got our CRUD. I'm gonna call this order. I think I'm going to rename that from CRUD to subscriptions. Okay. So I'm just going to take order here. And I don't think we can do order.list. We can do order.createRequest. That's what we can do. And I'm going to fill this out. Create subscription. Oh, we never did anything with that. So this is more of an inventory test than anything else. Boom, 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 boom. So who's still hanging in there? I see we lost most people. By the way, as you're coming and going, thumbs up if you got them, thumbs down if not, because every thumb helps. And if you like what you like, you get more of what you like. If you want to follow along with the channel, be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell for personalized recommendations so that you get the good stuff. Sometimes the sessions are really exciting. Sometimes they are a slog. This one I'd say is somewhere in the middle in terms of I feel that I'm making a lot of progress. I'm going through a lot of stuff, but also it'd be nice to have a little bit more engagement than what we've been having in this session, and maybe a little more diversity in, well, not diversity in what we're completing, but moving through things quicker. In a more expected way. Sometimes that's nice to do, but this time it's just very, oh, there was all this security stuff that I wasn't paying attention to. That I needed to fix. All right, so we're going to do order create request. Wait, which one am I in right now? Oh, I'm in the wrong file. I guess I can make that change as an appropriate change. Hold on. Yeah, that change is an appropriate change. Let's go back to this. And then I should do this here as well. This is sandbox. There we go. Okay, so what is the request that we are creating? I'm going to go steal the application context from over here. Yeah, there we go. Set no number. There's application context. Oh, I hear my little daughter laughing in the background. Makes me happy. I don't think it, so in the application context, which is different. Application context is different between these, I guess. Landing page. I don't remember landing page being interesting. Interesting. Oh, okay. So here for this makes sense. Okay. So landing page. Basically, let me put this in here. Landing page. It can be login or billing. So this would be for checkout with PayPal, or billing for credit card, or no preference. So we actually do want to set this because I want to have a button for credit card and a button for PayPal, and the button for the credit card should allow them to pay with credit card without necessarily creating a PayPal account, I guess. It's potentially a little more dangerous, but so goes it. Oh. And then let's see here. This is going to be, we're just going to example.com in on this one, which surprisingly, I believe, is a valid value. The API is quite strange. It's very different from what I'm used to. If we're being honest, which we have no reason not to be. Okay, so I feel great about this. Shipping preference, great. All right, user action is pay now. Not subscribe. Oh, there we go, user action. Yeah. And then a payment method, return string, stored payment source. I don't know about all this, but it seems that the application context is different between the two. Let me see, is there anything I left in here from the previous one? No? Okay. Customer selected. What? It doesn't say what the values are. I'm guessing it must mean... I don't know what this is. Let me go look at the other one real quick. Let's go look at the previous. How do we do it over there? Landing page, shipping preference, user action, continue. We didn't do pay preferred. Whatever. Okay, what was the soft descriptor on this thing? Are we allowing multiple payments? Is that the deal? Let me get back to, oh, I've got too many of these things open now. Where was soft descriptor? Soft description. Soft descriptor. Soft descriptor. This is going to be what shows up on the credit card. And this goes where? This goes under payment instruction, pay amount, purchase unit request. Okay, this goes under purchase unit. So they can do multiple purchase units in the same dealio. Soft descriptor is going to be Bliss. I'm going to call it the product name. Okay, request ID. All right, reference ID, request ID, and the amount is required. Okay, the custom ID, gosh. Okay, so the request ID, and then there's custom ID, and custom ID would be external. So this is whatever's in the database. Okay. So this is our own user by product ID. Okay. What else? So let me check the application context over here. Should be preference user action. So okay, mostly this was the same actually. Maybe some things that I didn't choose to use. Okay, but what about other than purchase unit? What have we got? So we have intent, we have purchase units. That's it. And then inside of the purchase units, we have description. So yeah, the description is shown to the user in the whatchamajig. Let me go back to this here. So description is shown in PayPal UI. Widgets and gizmos. 1 year of pure bliss. Cool. On the charge statement. That's what this one is. Request ID, custom ID. Okay. Let's take a look back at this thing again. And then, of course, we need amount, value, and we don't really need breakdown, I don't think. I think amount and value is good enough. We can have a breakdown if we want to have a breakdown. And then items is not really necessary either. And then shipping's not necessary because we're not shipping. Okay. Okay. And I'm not going to do items because we're not selling physical goods. So just saying the description is you bought bliss. It's good enough. Okay, so I think this will be good. And I think this will give us the URL that we need. So I think I need to go figure out the little bit about how we get that. Order, oops, create request. So there's checkout order product. So this would be product, and then order get product, maybe? Okay, so that will have to be how we do this. Now, the product slug, it might need to be slightly different. Yeah. Maybe we could do a plan still, because they're going to order the plan, but it's not going to renew is the difference. So maybe we do just leave it as is. For right now, I think I will. So we're gonna still call we're gonna still do purchase.getPlan for the time being. And then we're gonna do order.createRequest, and it's gonna have all the same application stuff in here, except for user action is going to be pay now. And then it's going to be PayPal checkout order instead of the other one. But essentially they're going to be the same. It's just I'm going to have to separate these just a touch so that they are grouped together more appropriately. I guess I'll grab both of these and I'll just bring them up to where I'm putting in the order stuff. Oh, hey, you're back. Well, welcome back. You can leave as you wish. You have no obligation to stay. Okay, order. Order. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted. I want to take all of this here. All right, so this is all subscription stuff. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom. And I'll update those URLs later. And this is order stuff. All right, it's going to be a lot of similarities. So this is going to be we'll have to find out what this is going to be. I don't actually know yet. So this will be rec.query, I suppose. And then this is at least going to be plan. Probably custom ID in there. I'm not really sure. I don't know what the status is going to be. I'm guessing that there is no status. It's simply it got paid. Yeah, no, those will be order details. We'll find out what this is going to be. Okay. So we'll just have that one in there. have this one in here. Oh, that's what I should have done with this one. Like that. There we go. And then again, I don't know what this is going to be like. But we probably just cancel the order. It's probably going to be all the same stuff. Okay, so we'll just try this out to get started. Okay, so we're going to create an order. And I suppose, yeah, so I think we do need a separate purchase from subscription maybe. Well, I don't even know. Do I even care to create a unfinished purchase? I don't think I do. So I think with this one, we can make up what we want our ID to be, but it really doesn't matter because the one-time purchase is either going to succeed, they're going to pay now, or they're not. So you say, I already have a YouTube channel, and as we were talking about microphones, I have the Blue Snowball Ice. Cool. Yeah, I've got here, which you cannot see, but maybe whatever. Let me see. Can we do this? So I got the Yeti here, and I like it quite a bit. Oh, there it is. I had to watch a video on how to use it properly, because before I was actually messing up the sound for no good reason. But now that I know, as they say, the more you know, the more you coals, right? So, and so it is. Now I messed up my viewport. Oh, also, there we go. Hi, camera. Focus. Focus. And it looks like maybe some other people joined in. So hello to you. I'm AJ. Love to know who you are and where you're from, and what brings you here today. What your areas of expertise or interest are. Also, I love to know about that. Okay, so we're going to call this a PPC order, but we're not going to. There's no plan ID, but we do. Okay, I don't need to copy all that over right now. I just want to grab this little bit right here, which I think I've got this somewhere else already. Let me go look. I didn't mean to open up whatever I just opened up. Go away. Go away. Leave me alone. When did I start modding Gamecubes? A couple years ago. When Link's, it was just prior to the announcement for Link's Awakening on the Switch, is when I started my journey. And I think it was a year later that I actually modded a few Gamecubes. I've done hardware mods and the memory hack mods. But I was early enough to be able to get the action replay. In part, I think because nobody knew that website existed, and then I made that video that became super popular, and then people knew the website existed, and then they bought them all. And then it sounds like the same thing is happening with the other video I made about here's all the games that you can get. And since then, a lot of those games have gone up in price. I want to check real quick. I know Wind Waker has for sure, but let me just check. If we go to eBay here and we look for GameCube 007 Agent Under Fire. No, this is still cheap. I don't know what people are talking about, because somebody said, oh, all the games are really expensive now. If you want to get Agent Under Fire, which is pretty good in terms of boot time and all that, well, there you go. $10. It's gone down in price. Oh, this one's a bad disc. So don't get that. That seems silly. Look, I have a case that's been chewed by my dog and a bad disc inside. Want it for $7? No. That's $5 shipping. You're selling the thing for $2. It's not worth the time to take the picture. It's somebody that goes in the garbage. It wasn't worth the time it took them to take the picture. They have zero profit on that. The minimum that you can pay through USPS for shipping a game, I think, is $4.20. But it can range between that and $5 for the continental United States mostly. Plus, it costs, let's say, between 10 cents and $1 for the packaging, depending on whether, if you've got stocked up on packaging, maybe it costs you only 10 cents. But still. And then you've got to pay somebody. You have to pay somebody to take the time to print the label and package it and put in. You're losing money on that deal. To sell a broken game that no one's going to want to buy. Okay. What was I going to look at here? Let's see, purchase units. No, I don't need any of that anymore. What am I need the links thing. Links. Where's links at? This is it. This is what I want. Set no number. There we go. Oh, here's another thing I recommend. If you think you might want to get into coding at some point, learn Vim. Vim is great. Started researching this year. I could never actually do it though because I can't solder because my hands are shaky and crap, so I can't do the soldering the mod chip. Oh wait, do you need? So your comment may have been too long. It might have gotten truncated because I can't see the rest. But if you got shaky hands, make sure you're getting your vitamins and that you eat before you try to do something. Because if you're low in blood sugar, my hands get really shaky. And my hands aren't super, let's see. Even now there's a little shake to them. I don't have very steady hands. It's not the shakiness. Plus, you don't hold the soldering iron in the air. You put it to the board. So you don't, unless your hands shake from the elbow, you don't have to worry too much about the shake. But it's tedious. It's very, very tedious. If you're going to do 100 of them, then you'll learn the technique and you'll get it right. But if you're only going to mod one, yeah, I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, maybe as a 13-year-old and you're learning valuable skills such as soldering, but other than purely for fun, it's hard to justify. You're not saving, on the time value scale, you're not saving anything to do it yourself versus purchasing one that's already been modded and then selling yours, or buying a replacement disc, the SD disc replacement. Okay. So I'm going to go into the test order, and then this is where we don't need products. We need, I don't need res.write. Let's see, and I think we just need order. PPC order, and then PPC order.links, I think. If it's wrong, I'll figure it out pretty quickly. And we don't need any of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. So tests order. Something bad happened. Good to know. Good to know. I did not assign it here. LMNOP, right? How did I get that wrong the first time? LMNOP. Alphabet, people. Alphabet. I put this in the wrong place, I think. Yeah, I did. I put O after P. LMNOP. O comes before P, people. Come on, y'all. All right. I'm just going to get rid of this. It's not that useful. Or maybe it is. I don't know. All right. Must have purchase units. Yeah, that makes sense. Didn't I put that there? Test order. Purchase units with an S. Hey, it worked. All right. Let's see what we get back here. Oh, bad response? 201? What did I do in this thing? Order dot create. There, must 201 or 200. Is that good enough? Ba-da-da-da. All right, let's see if it's .result.links. All right, let's try this. Blah, blah. Okay, let's see. Oh, wait, do you need a mod chip for the mem card and disk method? No, you do not. You do not need a mod chip for mem card and disk method. So if the disk is valid, if it's a real valid disk, it's going to boot from the disk. That essentially has the software. There isn't any software on the Gamecube. The Gamecube is more similar to a calculator than a computer, kind of in a way. There is, I don't know, is there some other device that I could relate this to that there is no software? All of the software, all of the instruction for what to do is on the disk. Except for that, it has to read there's a little encrypted memo on the disk. And it has a custom DVD drive. Well, it's similar to other copy protection methods. So, for example, your Blu-ray player can only decrypt a disk if you can get your Blu-ray player in a mode where it would read the disk unencrypted. And likewise, I don't know if the Gamecube discs themselves are encrypted or not. I don't think that they are encrypted. I think they just had a little bit of data it has to read that verifies. Anyway, so the disk boots up, and it is faults, it's bugs in the software on the disk that when you read from the memory card, it was very common. As probably as part of some of the sample code that Nintendo provided for how to read from the memory card. It was probably didn't check errors. And so essentially you do something similar to the Gamecube asks the memory game save file, hey, how big are you? And it'll lie. And it'll say, I'm this many big. And then the Gamecube, the disk software that reads the the memory card will then run a process to load that into memory. But the hack game save lies about how big it is and about where it should load the game save. And so essentially it'll load in some data that has computer instruction in it. So rather than just reading the title of the card, it will have the wrong length and it'll read past the title of the card and into the computer code and then start running the computer code. I don't know if I explained it well, but so Yeah, if you mod it, then you can bypass the authentication method altogether, and then you can just run whatever disk you want, assuming that the laser will read the disk. Okay, so what came back here? Body dot links. So dot body? Wait a minute. Let me go back here. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. All right, so then we'll do PVC order.links. So I should get these, print out to the console. Self, approve, update, cool. All right, and this is coming true, which is my really silly way of saying coming through. So when I get a good template for this, I think what I'm going to do is just sell it for 99 bucks. I think I'll make the PayPal SDK that I created free, because it's not that much code, and if you saw the code copying in it, there would be nothing copyrightable about it, because it's just making a request with a couple of default values. But I think I can take this that I've been showing how to build through these sessions and just provide it with, here's your database tables that you need, here's your whole API, and say 99 bucks, it's yours. I am not, from this point forward, I'm more or less over the delusion of open source. Oh, interesting. So I can pay from my PayPal balance, but I can't subscribe from my PayPal balance. I have to subscribe with a credit card. Interesting. I can pay with PayPal credit. Ooh, pay my $10 over time. So I'm going to answer the question about the GameCube, and then I'm going to go back to what I was talking about this. Why didn't Nintendo spend the extra 30 cents to put the firmware on the console? Well, how old is that console, bro? Think about it. That thing came out in 97 when I was your age. Was it 97? No, 2000? 2002? Yeah, I wasn't your age in 97. I was younger than you when I said 2002. Okay. Nintendo GameCube. When did it release? 2001. In 2001, I was 14, 15, something around there. I was 86 plus carry the one. Okay, I was 15. So a little bit older than you. But that's when this came out. It was 2001. The tail end of 2001, nonetheless. Oh, in Japan. The next month. Right. Cool. So it wasn't simply a matter of spend the extra 30 cents. It was... So think of all the other consoles that came out around this time. So the PlayStation just come out. The PlayStation 2 was coming out. Or maybe had just recently come out. So there was a lot of disk-based systems. I don't know if the Xbox had come out yet. But it's not a matter of 30 cents because if you... Whoops, Xbox. They would have had to have had SD memory built on the board, which maybe could have failed. They didn't have any reason to do it, because it was probably cheaper and faster to load all of the operating and bare metal. Consider the Xbox experience where you have to wait forever for things to load, or even the Nintendo Switch. GameCube, you press the button, it turns on. Why is it that you press the button and it turns on? Well, it's because everything's on the disc. So you press the button, it turns on. It makes a little sound that it makes. And then after that, it's reading from the disk. It is booting from the disk. The game contains all the operating system components or the SDK components. So essentially, Nintendo releases the SDK, which is here's some code for accessing the memory card. Here's some code for accessing the video driver in this mode, so on and so forth. And this is why, let's see, original, what was original? So today, even today, it wouldn't be an extra 30 cents because, well, I guess maybe in today, because let's say you put some eMMC memory on there and you have it boot up into that. Yeah. Also, it wasn't networked, so there wouldn't have been a way to update it. So it really was what it needed to be. And, the Wii U was quite terrible with its experience. Everything's about the new one. Where's the old one? 2001. Okay. Yeah. So Xbox experience is pretty terrible in comparison. Anyway, so it looks that everything turned out right. And what do we get? We get token and payer ID. So let me make sure that I make note of that here. Actually, the redirects, they kind of belong in this section. Okay, so let's say it's not just subscription. Bring this up a level. Okay. Payer ID. I don't know. Let me go back to this. This is where I really need that information. I'm getting hungry. My brain's slowing down. I need to go eat and then come back to this afterwards. Oh, and let's see. Did we get the webhook? Oh. Checkout order approved. We did get the webhook, so I need to put that in here as well. So this is payer ID and then token. Technically token and then payer ID, but whatever. Who knows what you can do with the payer ID. But you don't get the payment ID, which is a little bit weird. You hear that, y'all? It's dinner time, so I'm going to have to go. Let me see what I can get this to here. My lovely little girl. It's dinner time, Daddy. Okay. So I'm just going to list these alphabetically, maybe. Interesting. Checkout order approved. So we should still also get the sale. Let's see. Let me look back in the logs here. So we don't get a payment webhook. We just get checkout order approved, which I guess is as good as a payment webhook. So I'm going to say... All right, thank you, sweetie. I'll be there in just a second. All right. Well, I guess I'll finish up the one-time orders afterwards, and then maybe we'll get to the credit card with the subscriptions. But that's what I need to. That's what I want to get through tonight. And then there's another project that I need to do. I might save it for tomorrow late evening. I think it's only going to take me an hour or two. but it's just adding an API to Project X, as it were. Anyway, thumbs up if you got them, thumbs down if you don't. But remember, if you like what you like, you get more of what you like. Hit the subscribe button and the bell for personalized recommendations if you'd like to follow along in the future. And I will catch you later. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate it. And also, one more thing, actually. I will go ahead. Come over here. Let me link the Discord again, because now there's a Beyond Code Live Discord. So I'm going to throw that into the chat real quick. Beyond Code Live Discord. Welcome to join in. And with that all said, time for me to go. Adios.